You are now tuned in to the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, where we will be discussing actual audio and visual clips captured during the team's investigations. Hear firsthand eyewitness accounts from fellow team members and special guests. Now smash that like, subscribe, and follow button, and let's get ready to welcome team leader and your host, Eric Vanderlaan, and tech specialist and co-host, Mike Del Coro.
Happy Monday, everybody. My paranormal peeps. Welcome to the War Party Paranormal Radio Show. I'm Eric Vanderlaan, your host of the War Party Paranormal Radio Show and team leader of War Party Paranormal Research. And over there, pointing the right way.
Over here.
Right there.
My name is Mike Del Coro, tech specialist, investigator, and case manager at War Party Paranormal. And happy to be here tonight with you guys. We got a great show for you. And I'm going to let Eric tell you what we're getting into.
Yeah, we got a really good show tonight. We're bringing one of our family members from Paraflixx, right, Mikey, on the show.
That's right.
We have Expedition Entity. We have Larry and Dan. And I'm not going to waste any time. I got a little trailer of theirs their episode that just recently aired on Paraflixx. And by the way, you people that are listening, check out Paraflixx. It's an amazing network. If you're nuts about the paranormal, that's the place to watch all your shows. So let's play this intro. Here we go.
Well, Mary Jane was missing after that. She was missing for about 4 days.
Is this Mary Jane I'm talking to?
Also, most people don't realize or don't know that Stanley's head was completely singed and burnt off of any flesh.
Yeah. Is there a spirit that stays upstairs?
Jen has this little speaker where she can hear what you're saying.
Help. It's naughty. I'm definitely feeling weird already.
What's in that well? Stop.
Has anyone ever been killed in this room before?
Stop.
Do you not want me to ask that question?
I appreciate it. Thanks.
What the f*** is that? What is that?
What?
We just saw something crawl across the
Huh?
floor. It just crawled across the
You
floor.
both
It was
did?
like a little
Yeah.
black shadow.
There's
or
a
something.
little black foot tall shadow.
And it just disappeared. It was gone.
So there's my proof, Mike. We're not the only show on Paraflixx. There's other amazing shows, and Dan and Larry are awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the work that they do and the editing and filming is really incredible. And let's not waste any time. Let's bring them on.
All right, let's do it.
Bam.
Hey, guys.
Larry and
Hey,
Dan.
guys.
Thanks for being on the show.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us out.
Yeah, I mean, like, I see Natalie like blasting you guys all the time, and I saw a couple
Natalie's
of your
awesome.
shows. Yeah, she is.
She really
awesome.
She's the best.
Yeah, she always gives us a lot of support and everybody else. But yeah, I figure like you guys are the big dogs on Paraflixx, so we got to bring you guys on, right?
I don't know about that, but okay.
Yeah. I think you're being too kind.
I think we're just
I
the
spit
big
your truth.
dogs. That's all.
Yeah.
I got one too. Don't worry.
We're like the well-fed dogs.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up to Mike. I'll be there in no time. So you guys are up north. You guys are up in Wisconsin?
Northern Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Which is, it's literally right on the border. So
Yeah, we could be to Wisconsin from my house in probably 40 minutes flat.
yeah,
All right.
You guys got a lot of history up in that area, right?
We do.
quite a bit. Yeah.
You got Go Pack Go there, right? The Packers? I
No.
don't think it's Packers
No.
fans.
No.
Different state. Bears. The Bears.
Yeah.
Bears.
The Bears.
All right. And how you guys like film and produce Expedition Entity. Could you tell the folks a little bit about that? Like how you guys got started, how long you've been doing it.
Well, Dan, you're the show creator, so why don't you go ahead and kick it off?
He always does this to me. So Larry and I have been investigating together for about 13 years, and we met. I was actually running another team called Small Town Paranormal.
Okay.
Hi, Supernatural Eye. Thank you. We met, and I was doing a public ghost hunt with my original team, Small Town Paranormal, like I said. And Larry happened to come out and check out what we were doing. And he and I got to talking on the side, you know, as we were doing everything. And I took him to this cemetery that's, when I say the middle of nowhere, it's literally the middle of nowhere.
That's what I like.
And yeah, cornfields all around us.
Ooh.
So we go hiking up, because Larry and I have always, if we don't have permission, we never break the threshold of the cemeteries at night.
Yeah, same here. So
we walked up the frontage part of the cornfield. Corn's hitting us in the face, but we get back to this spot, but in the cemetery, where there's these 3 humongous obelisks, and lo and behold, we got some EVPs there.
Well, really?
And
it was together.
Pretty cool. First time we ever met, and he, you know, we exchanged numbers and stuff, and
we got to make movies.
Well, no, he called me and he goes, hey, he said, I reviewed this recorder and we got EVPs, man. I was like, no kidding. He goes, oh yeah, they're pretty, and they are pretty clear. So we became fast friends. You know, Larry he had his own team, Northern Illinois Paranormal Research Team, correct? And he and I just started working together, and, you know, started doing more and more stuff. And then he would come and join me on residential stuff, and I would join him on anything he had. Well, then Larry decided, you know what, it's not worth having a team. And I said, well, it's worth having you on my team, so come over here. and you know, he and I pretty much just hit the ground running and went, and we created the Small Town Paranormal family, which by the end of that, we had 28 teams worldwide.
Oh, wow.
And Ireland, Australia, the UK, Canada,
all
over the place. It was really cool until it wasn't. And then,
well, you know how paranormal drama gets.
Well, all good things come to an end.
Yeah.
All come to an end.
And unfortunately,
we got 33 members, so we feel the pain.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it came to an end. So, but Larry and I stuck with it. So, you know, we kind of, after the whole debacle, we kind of both just shied away for about a year. And I called him up and I said, hey, what do you think about doing a show? And he goes, like, where? I said, I don't know. I said, I have a YouTube channel. I said, let's put it there. He goes, all right. He goes, well, what are we going to call it? I said, we're going to call it Expedition Entity. No. Pursuing the Paranormal.
It had a whole long title.
Yeah. So anyway, he said, well, yeah, why not? So we decided to do it. And the first episode we ever shot, we went up to the battleground in Kent, Illinois, which was one of the major battlegrounds of the Black Hawk War of 1832.
Okay.
And we filmed our first episode. Now, we didn't get any evidence whatsoever. It was a daytime investigation, except for one thing. Now, Larry thinks it sounds like Indian. I asked the question, if there's anybody here, can you tell me where you're from? And I could clearly hear whispered cat, which was exactly where we were.
Right.
Larry said to him, it sounded more like sock, which, as you guys know, we all hear different things.
Right.
So, you know, it definitely was an EVP. No matter what was said, it was a definite EVP.
It was vocal.
But that was the only thing we caught in that first investigation. But
And
I
it
have
was,
to say,
it was filmed on mini DV camcorders.
was filmed on a mini DV
My, how things have changed.
and a Nikon. It was filmed with
And a
in 720 on a Nikon.
Yep.
Which it wasn't bad video, but I have to say, for me, after we did that first episode, I was hooked. I was like, this is what I need to do. This is what I want to do.
Mhm.
Yeah. There were a lot of TV shows at that time. It was around 2014-ish.
Okay.
A lot of TV shows that, you could tell the investigations amplified.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe
for
even
sure.
exaggerated.
Right.
One of the things that I really hate is the sound effects before something happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That
like
build up.
I'm in the room. There's no sound effects.
Right.
Why is there sound effects on the show? And Ghost Adventures did it all the time. That was the sound effects, the big whoosh when a word came across.
Or when
And
the
it's like,
orb shot out of Zach Bacon's head, and
yes, the orbs, yes,
360, and
completely unnecessary. Like, why do we need that stuff?
no.
And a lot of locations, they did an okay job telling the history, but it's not enough to be able to see how significant the responses might be.
Right.
So when we started talking about the show, we're like, we want to go to lesser known locations. We want to be history focused, and we want to be raw.
Yeah.
To where the only editing that we do on the sessions is maybe to boost the volume, because stuff is quiet. It's hard to hear sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Mhm.
And we've stuck to those three things the whole time.
Yeah, you guys are like exactly like us. Like, we're with War Party Paranormal. We, it's been a paranormal research team for a while. And then Mike and I met up, and we were like, man, we get like all this crazy evidence, and like everything's the real deal. And then we start, and it's pretty much like whenever we do an investigation, we always film, because like we don't capture it on camera and you don't document it. It never happened to me, even though it did. So then we like jumped into it, and with Paraflixx, and right, Mike, everything is the real deal that you see. I mean, you don't have to like over dramatize stuff if you're getting good evidence, that should just speak for itself.
I kind of look at it like this: like if you're a baseball player and you hit a home run, the guy's not going to jump around and roll around on the floor with excitement, and like, you know what I mean? Like if you're a professional, you're doing this all the time.
Right.
I mean, there's not many times where, I do get startled, like I'm a human being, but if I get a good EVP, I'm not going to jump out the window. I'm going to be like, wow, that's really cool. Like, listen to this,
Right.
There's people that are in it to entertain, and then there's people that are in it to show the evidence that they captured. I do most of the editing, and I do like to try to keep people's interest with audio, like maybe some music in here and there when there's stuff not going on. But I do tend to keep it pretty simple, obviously, kind of the same thing. And, we specialize doing residentials, and we specialize holding public ghost hunting events to bring awareness and to raise money for historical
museum.
Sure. Yeah, for historical museums. And this is kind of like more of like I guess I would say like a hobby. It's something that is fun that we like to do to get our evidence and
it's a passion.
Yeah.
And history, like you said, it plays an important role. I mean, you got to have history with paranormal, because if you're picking up evidence that correlates to the history, it doesn't get any better than that.
Right.
And if you see in our episodes, like the first 15 minutes, we're talking about the location and the history and things like that.
Sure. One of the locations we did, we eventually returned to Kellogg's Grove, the first location we ever filmed. We went back in, I think, season 2 or season 1. I think it's season 1. And in the same location that, we had this amazing response, we investigated again. The first time when we were doing an SB7 session without the headphones or anything, just out into the speaker, across the speaker came the verbal command to fire.
Oh, wow.
It had the tonal inflection and everything. Fire.
Right.
Well, that was a battle site in the Black Hawk War of 1832. They would have fired volleys.
Yep.
So, it would have made sense that could have possibly been said on the battle site.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But if you didn't know it was a battle site, would it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I've investigated the Castillo de San Marcos in St. Augustine, the fort there, and we've gotten like verbiage in Spanish, like like battle and war and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you guys have a lot of Native American history up there, right? It seems like
we do.
Quite a bit, yeah. There are a lot of tribes in the northern Illinois area that kind of overlap with each other.
Right.
So, and of course, you know, back then there was a lot of fighting, and they'd take territory, then it'd go back, then someone else would take it, then it'd go back.
Do you think that like a lot of these historical places with Native American history, you think that influences the paranormal? Because we believe it does. We have a lot of places down here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can tell you, like I can show you a map down here in South Florida, actually a place called Davie. It's just like west of Fort Lauderdale. And I have this map of Native American burial sites and settlements, and they're all along this one highway. And like down here, like that's where I get my concentration of residential cases in that area.
Yeah, how weird is that, right?
And also there's a museum that we investigate, super active, that's in that area. And also a bar. So I feel like
now the tribe down in Florida was the Cherokee Nation, correct?
Seminoles.
Yeah. There was a bunch of them. Like there was like little settlements, the Ayas, the Calusa, and then you also had the Seminole tribe. And you know, it was like a mixture of a lot of different tribes in every little area. But it was mostly towards the end, the Seminoles, where they all kind of combined into one.
Originally, it was like down here, Tequesta and Calusa, but when the Spanish came here with the disease and everything, they pretty much died off. And then when the U.S. sent all the Native Americans out west, some of them didn't want to go there and escaped down to Florida. So it's a blend of all different tribes and also slaves as well.
Yeah. Sure. Well, my good friend Russ he's from Florida, and he's like 30% Cherokee, and he said that a lot of his tribe went down to northern Florida.
Yep.
Which it's funny that you brought up the Trail of Tears, because the Black Hawk War, which Larry and I have, hey Jamie Lynn, which Larry and I wrote a book about, that was instrumental in starting the Trail of Tears.
Okay.
Yeah, it had gotten started a little prior to it, but it was kind of the last nail in the coffin.
It was the last, yeah.
And all of a sudden, you know, you had this major insurrection, and Andrew Johnson's like, we're done. They all got to go now.
Actually, it was Andrew Jackson.
Oh yeah, well he was very influential down here during the Seminole Indian Wars. There was 3 of them down here. There were a lot of battles, like from northern Florida all the way down to where I live, and that concentration of, you know, all that paranormal sightings that we experienced down there.
From what I remember, down there is where he got the nickname Stonewall Jackson.
Oh, okay.
I believe it was during the Native American Wars that he participated in, but I believe it was the ones down there.
The Seminole Indian?
I believe so.
Okay.
I haven't looked too much into him.
Hey, Kyle. What's up, brother?
Hi, Kyle. We know that President Jackson was not a fan of any of the Native Americans. And when they finally defeated and captured Black Hawk,
oh no, it was during the Confederate Civil War. I'd look it up.
When they finally captured Black Hawk, you know, he made a spectacle out of him. He paraded him around out in the nation's capital. You know, this is the great war chief Black Hawk, and we captured him. But he basically just wanted all the Native Americans to get the hell over the Mississippi and never come back.
It's a shame how we treated them. They even did that with Chief Osceola.
They decapitated him and marched his head around.
Yeah, he was actually locked up at the Castillo de San Marcos, and they say they see his head like floating. They see an apparition of his head floating around there.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
that place is wild. And, you know, and the construction of the fort, it's made out of, Eric, what do you call it? I can't never pronounce it right.
Coquina. It's like shells, like crushed shells.
Oh,
so when they were attacked by the French the cannonballs would hit the fort, but it would just absorb it like a sponge, and then they would just cover it up. They couldn't destroy it. It was like,
and what was neat is I always thought this was fascinating, right? They during the war they had like big barrels of paint on really long sticks, like mop sticks, and as soon as they got hit, because it wouldn't destroy it, it would just like kind of knock off some of the shells and then take the impact. They would paint it real quick. As fast as they were getting hit, they were painting it. So when, after the smoke cleared, they look and they couldn't see where they hit. And they're like, oh my God, we didn't even hit them, or something. Like they were, it was pretty neat. A little neat piece of history.
A little psychological warfare going on there.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. You guys got to come down south one day.
I want to.
Yeah, you guys got an open invitation.
I want to visit St. Augustine really bad.
Oh, it's awesome.
Oldest city in the United States. So.
It's like you cannot go. You can't spit and not hit something haunted. Like, I mean, there's so many places. There's, obviously the ones that gained a lot of traction for being on TV, but there's so much more. There's so many little spots around that are just, everywhere. It's amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
I actually, when COVID first hit, when they shut down all the businesses and everyone had to stay home, just before that, we had a beach house there that we were running, and I went and hit the town, and there was no bars, no restaurants, no stores. You could drop a pin in that little town and hear it drop. And I got
that's
so
rare.
much crazy evidence. That's probably the last time that town will ever be that quiet. And from like going to the cemeteries, from going to the fort. The craziest thing in the fort, I was at the executioner's wall and I had my EDI in one of the cannonball holes, and for no reason whatsoever, and this is 1 a.m., it's flashing by vibration on the EDI. Like, how is it sensing that? It's pretty loud.
I didn't even know that executioner wall was there. You told me about it when I was up there with Joe. We went and checked it out.
Yeah,
it was like right around the corner. They used the side of the side of the structure. Yeah, it was pretty neat. And then when we found it, we've seen all the bullet holes and, from the powder guns, so pretty neat. But yeah, you guys got to come down and check it out. Key West is also.
I want to go to Key West as well.
Pretty fire.
There are so many places to go to. As soon as we can get Dan out of his job and retired, we're on our way.
Here it comes.
Key West is in Spanish is Gaia Hueso, and Gaia Hueso means Island of the Bones. It was a Native American cemetery when the Spanish first got there. That's what they discovered, was bones everywhere.
Huh.
Even in the Key West Cemetery, there's two. It's a small island.
Yeah,
I think there's over 100,000.
Yeah, the
people.
cemetery.
Oh my gosh!
The cemetery
in the
has
cemetery.
to be above ground because it's like, with the hurricanes and the low sea level.
Sure.
If you want to see or check it, look into Captain Tony's, the bar down there.
Okay.
And remember that. Check it out. There's so much history in this one little bar. Like paranormal stuff going on. There's a hanging tree growing right through the middle of it. There's a
gravestones.
Yeah, there's a headstone or grave marker that they found when they were in the floor, when they were chipping up the floor. They built over it, didn't even know.
Wow.
That's still there, and they paved around it so you could see the marker right by the pool table.
Wow.
And then there was a man that was cheating on his wife. Or was the other way around? No, I'm sorry. The woman was cheating on his wife and always hung out at the bar. And when she passed, he threw her grave marker through the window. And the owner kept it and put it underneath the hanging tree. And there's supposed to be apparitions of her in there. And this is all one little tiny dive bar.
Yeah, it was the original. It was the original Sloppy Joe's until he moved it when they raised up the rent.
Wow.
That's nuts.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. We haven't got down there for a while, but it's it's still a hike from us. It's about 5 hours.
We can be your paranormal tour guides. How about that?
Absolutely.
And then in the meantime, you just drink some frozen cocktails or whatever you like. Right?
It's been warm. It's been so hot down here. It's crazy. It's been like over 100.
Ugh.
But it was interesting that you were saying earlier that you like to film locations that a lot of people don't don't know about, and that's what we do. A lot of them down in Florida. Like a lot of people don't know there's a lot of weird places down here. But what we're doing is trying to do the opposite, trying to get bigger locations. So
Sure.
what areas, is there a specific area like in generally up by Illinois that you focus on, or do you guys go all over?
It's mostly along the border right now. Within a couple hours drive, simply because one, I'm still getting my master's degree, so during the semester, like,
good on you.
In filming.
Yes, yeah.
Awesome.
I'm a teaching assistant at Northern Illinois University, teaching film.
Oh, very cool.
And then I have
really?
my master's
Cool.
classes to get my degree in film. So
Wow, great.
all of that makes me very unavailable during the semester, and then Dan's job makes him extremely unavailable. So sometimes to get time off to where we can go somewhere far away, it might take us 3 months to do that.
Blame it on Dan.
Always Dan.
we understand that too.
So did you get the bug of filming when you started do episodes with Dan?
I did
were you
one
doing
episode with the team prior that I was on.
Mhm.
But that guy was dead set on getting onto sci-fi.
Okay.
And we kind of butted heads on the creative approach, the style that he wanted. And I'm like, no, we're literally ripping off Ghost Hunters. We don't want to do this. And he was very adamant on it's got to look like this. And I said, okay, I'm going to go ghost hunt with somebody else. And then I found him. Or that was him. So, but when he and I first started, we weren't doing this. Really, it started as us making the YouTube videos digestible.
Okay.
So, a 45-minute conversation with the spirit, well, no one's going to watch that.
Right.
So we got to get it down to like 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then, as you get better at it, we go, hey, let's maybe do 15-minute conversations. And we'll cut out the parts that, there's no answers or something like that.
Right.
And then it's like, well,
trust me, that's one of the hardest things that I find, is cramming and what to cut and what not to cut,
Right.
and
God damn it, everything's good.
Well, we found a way around that.
Oh, really?
So now all of our sessions are 10 minutes each. And that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
And usually there's some kind of a starting or an ending to them. After I'll wrap everything up and say cut, then there's a conversation where sometimes that conversation is kept and sometimes it's not because of time.
Right.
So I think in the episode that just came out for the Roadhouse, after we were in the bar doing the Estes session with Dan, I think the conversation after the session ended was like a minute or two long of us, letting him know what was being said and how it correlated, and him telling us like how he felt during the session and everything. But sometimes those they're not kept because, the conversation doesn't have anything meaningful, or we're kind of tight on time.
Right.
And then the session ends up being like 8 minutes instead.
No, my guy's just running all over the place. He's like, we're doing like 4 different sessions, maybe 30 minutes a piece. Well, not Mike, it's me too, but we're like trying to change. I just like to blame him on everything.
When we first started doing this, we had the DVR cams, the static cams,
we did that
the microphones that ran for 9 hours straight.
Yeah,
it's too much.
And then after a while, we're just like, if it doesn't happen when we're filming at the exact time we're filming, it wasn't meant to be.
Yep.
It just wasn't, and we don't need it.
Right.
So it's worked out so far.
Okay. Yeah, it's too much. If you do that stuff and then just the review time alone, you're gonna burn yourself out. I mean, don't get me wrong. When we're doing residentials, things like that, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna review it. But when you're trying to put together, something of this nature, where you're trying to like express the history and then show that there is paranormal happenings here that relate with the history, it's impossible. You'll burn yourself out, and you'll never, you'll never come out with it.
Well, we were at our last location. We started at 6:30 in the evening, and we got out there like around 3 a.m.
Yeah, but we made 2 episodes out of it.
Well, we just did one of those too.
Yeah.
It was so long, and I had so much stuff, and it was
Yeah.
so hard. I was like, I can't cut this. I'm like, we have to go 2
And then when
episodes
it's active, like you don't want to stop. You want to keep going. Like, what else
Right.
can we get? It's like crazy right now.
My biggest problem is the storage.
Yeah.
Every
big time.
episode, even with us being very strict on a session being 10 minutes long, and we film 10 sessions per episode. And then even then, you might only get 4 or 5 in the episode because of time.
Yeah.
Usually, if you include the B-roll, the drone footage, the interview, each episode takes up almost 2 terabytes of space.
2 terabytes?
Yeah.
2 terabytes because everything's shot in 4K. It's shot in 10-bit, and then usually the interview has 2 cameras, so that's double.
Mhm.
And then there's an A and a B camera for the investigation.
Oh,
that's
you mean
double.
just raw footage?
Just raw footage.
Oh, yeah.
Ends up being 2
Every
terabytes
bit
of
of it.
storage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And if I were to do like 8 hours straight, I'd never be able to put it anywhere. It'd just be too much.
And now I have a stack of hard drives.
And Larry
Yep.
and Larry and Dan, just for you guys to know, a lot of the people that are here in the chat are paranormal investigators, and they
Cool.
probably do their own YouTube, and they're probably like taking down notes.
Well, my number one suggestion for storage are these
There you
Western
go.
Digital Blacks, 5 terabytes in
Yep,
hard
that's why I
drive
have 5
storage,
terabyte ones. Yep.
and they're great. They're absolutely great. I get so much stuff on those, and then I use one of
See,
these
people? There
Samsung
you
portable
go.
T7s for editing because it's got a 1,000 bit read and write speed. And
cool.
Yeah, that is important, folks. Is the read and write speed. Sometimes people overlook that.
Yeah.
Because if you're working directly off your hard drive, you need that speed for it to,
Right.
or you have to work off your computer, and then you start, clogging up a lot of cache.
Right. So if
so-
you can get all your files on one of these and do all the editing off of this, and then when you're done, put it on the hard drive for storage. It makes it so much easier.
What was
We're
so
gonna do a filming paranormal 101 course on our show.
you should people
Oh,
because
we got the professor right there.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
what was so funny
I've made
is,
lots of mistakes in my day. That's all I know.
yes,
Hey,
he
you learn
has.
from your mistakes. The more mistakes you make, the smarter you get. How about that?
I'll take it.
What's so funny is last year we shot a documentary. Actually, it was at this time of year,
Yeah.
and we had Miranda Young from Ghost Biker Explorations fly up to us and took her to a haunted cemetery, and it was hot up here. Remember, poor Miranda almost passed out.
Well, she's the ghost biker, so she had her
she's a
leather
ghost biker,
boots,
so
her
she had her
leather
leather on and
jacket.
everything.
It's like,
And-
oh, it's hot.
So,
Not
but
today. I'm no bo- I'm a
anyway,
biker.
with all the heat, and we had to keep doing retakes for this one part, and
Yeah.
Miranda's like, guys, I just can't get this walk down. I just don't. She goes, I don't know how to walk and talk like you need me to. So I said, Miranda, do it like this, and I said, so I step up and I do this walk and talk, and I'm saying her lines, and Larry's over behind the camera, and he goes, "That's it. That's what I need you to do." And
it's the very slow saunter, the walk and talk. Like, hey, so
Yeah.
over here, and then over there, and
But what was so funny is that's how long Larry and I worked together, because I know exactly what he's looking for.
yeah.
I know exactly how
That's
to
key.
show. And I mean to tell you guys, she did that. And afterwards she came over and she goes, that was awesome. She goes, I'm gonna do that sometimes now in my show. And that was one of the funny stories of he and I working together, because I knew exactly what he wanted and was able to convey that to her, and she knocked it out of the park.
Well, and if you think about it, the more times you have to redo that shot, it just takes up more space and more space and more space.
Mhm.
So trying to get them all done in one go is the best. But
Larry's like, God damn it, we're wasting space here.
wasting hard guys space. I only have 4 hours of space, guys. Come on.
By the way, that was my sister. She says she's going to get me a hard drive for Christmas.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
There you go.
I have 6 of them, and I've never had a problem with any of them.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, I relate to what you guys are saying too, because Eric and I have really good chemistry. We work well together.
That's the best when you can't anticipate what each other's moves are going to be next. I mean,
because the filming part just came so natural because we investigate together so often.
Sure.
You know, doing events with people and talking and everything. So yeah, it's really good when you can have a good chemistry with with who you're working with. So it's about that time where we got to pay some bills, guys.
Got to pay some bills.
So we got to run a couple quick ads.
Open up my coin purse here.
All right. So we just got to run a couple quick ads, and we'll be right back.
And this pertains.
What's up, my paranormal peeps? I'm Eric Vanderlaan, and I'm the host of War Party Paranormal Radio, and also the team leader of War Party Paranormal Research. And we got an exciting announcement to let you guys know tonight, and it involves stuff like this, and my co-host is going to tell you all about it.
What's up, guys? I'm Mike Del Coro with War Party, obviously. We are a technical team, and we always have people ask us, where can we get equipment like this? Well, you can get it from the ghosthunterstore.com. We got a nice little sponsorship worked out with them. We're going to be doing some giveaways, so stay tuned. Very, very cool, and go check them out at theghosthunterstore.com.
Peace.
All right, guys. And if you go to the checkout when you're at the cart on their website, if you enter the promo code Ghost Gone Wild, you'll get a discount on your purchase. And exciting announcement, they're now carrying my the Delco goggles that I created for doing the Gansfeld, the Estes, and the Delco experiment. They actually just sold out, so I'm in the process of getting
People
a new
are mad too.
Yeah, they are.
You better get on that, Mike.
I know. I'm slacking.
I told you I would help you.
Waiting on some
elf.
parts to arrive, and then I'm going to get them back over there, so they should be restocked here soon. And we just got one more.
What's up, my paranormal people? Eric and Mike here from the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, wanting you to remember the importance of hydration. Remember, we hunt ghosts. We don't want to turn into ghosts. Dehydration can lead to inflammation and even degenerative disease. So hydration is crucial.
Whether you're up all night investigating the paranormal, sky watching, or Bigfoot, Fuel Up Hydration System is designed to support motivation, concentration, and rejuvenation with the best immune-enhancing delivery system available today.
Experience the benefits of Fuel Up with their Feel the Difference money-back guarantee.
Visit fuelup.gg/warparty for their special offer that includes free shipping. Fuel Up for life. Hey, Eric, how do we do?
It's awesome.
All right. Well, maybe we should stick to hunting ghosts. I don't know if commercials is our thing.
True that.
Yeah, it's a banger,
like that
right?
cowbell, don't you? More cowbell.
All right, guys, and last but not least, we just had our final episode come out on Paraflixx, The House of Refuge. So that was our season finale, and we're already filming for season 2. It's a 1-minute trailer. I'm going to let you guys check this out real quick, and then we'll get right back to it.
We gonna look for some ghosts.
This house has seen death.
It's getting crazy in here.
And those are the stairs where people is getting touched or pushed.
So that was spooky.
We're going to give it a shot. We're going to do the Delco experiment. Is that you standing next to us? This is nuts. Nuts. You died. Okay.
Some good bangers in those commercials.
Oh yeah.
It all applies to you guys, by the way. You need your fuel up because I know it's hot up there now, so might as well hydrate. And when we get those Delco goggles, you guys got to check that out.
I am very interested in them.
I want to try them out.
It really depends on what we found. Is it depends on the person. If you are sensitive or an empath or anything like that, it almost seems like you're more susceptible to seeing visuals.
So it'd be better for Dan than for me then.
But we do it too, and we're not. I'm as sensitive as a rock.
Okay.
And I've gotten
got a
some
cold
really
heart.
great. I've got some really good responses, and even felt like being touched and different things. But then again, we have a psychic medium on the team, our buddy Joe, and he sees all kinds of stuff, visuals and different.
So you're
things.
saying I have a chance?
You have, yes.
Oh, I
So you're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah, you got to definitely try it out. It enhances everything. I did it with Patty Negree out in Tahoe at Para Experience last year, and like the experience she had blew my mind away, and it blew her mind away too. She's done a lot of different type of experiments, and she's like, "That's the one here." She says it doesn't even come close to Estes.
Where were they at? The Ghost Center store?
Yeah.
You guys keep talking. I'm gonna go look these up.
Yeah.
Larry's making a purchase.
I made a purchase, but I'll just set it aside until I get.
Yeah. So, and also, if you go to the Ghost Hunter store, they're right there on the front page, and you click on them. I have a detailed thing about the experiences, how we use them, and how the other ways that you could use them, different things. People have been buying them for meditation, to do the Gansfeld experiment, the Delco experiment, different things. So they're used for multiple different things, and they come in a nice little sack, and they're really robust. And you can grab it and just throw it in.
I
your
like
bag.
me a good sack, Mike.
I love it. Good.
So you can, you can throw them in your gear, and you don't have to worry about bringing ping pong balls and tape and crap and a light. It's just they're real convenient.
And you guys were talking about the cards. I mean, that experiment was used to test for ESP. They would like put cards up and have people like figure out what it is.
Yeah, the original Gansfeld experiment. Yep.
Right.
They would use the Zener cards and test for.
And it looks damn cool on the video too.
That's another thing that
there might be some high tech speckly goggles in one of our episodes one day.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I've been doing that too a little bit during the experiment as the Zener cards, holding the cards up with the shapes and seeing if they can, figure out what's on there.
Yeah, right.
But I do it randomly. I don't tell them I'm going to do it. Like just in the middle of the session, I'll just bust them out. I haven't had them pinpoint one of those yet, but that'd be pretty fantastic.
Yeah. When we did it, we used large face cards, so large numbers. And we found that under IR, you have to use black because IR and red doesn't go together. And, Jen is pulling cards, but she won't say the card. And she's showing it to Steve, who's sitting in front of her. So the camera can see it, but she's not saying what it is. And Dan actually got a lot of them correct.
That's awesome.
Funny enough, there's a little part in the session where she takes the cards and she puts them face down on the bar. Well, after the third card, I think it was a 10, a 5, and a 4. She starts to ask the next question, and Dan goes, hold. And, Jen didn't register what hold meant, but Steve did. So Steve flips the card over, and it was 19, and he goes, hold.
Oh, look at that.
Well, that's kind of odd.
Yeah, you got to do that. We'll bring you into the casino, and we'll blindfold you.
Well, here's
down the street. We got the Seminole Hard
Blackjack.
Rock. We'll bring you.
The building that we did that in was an old bootlegging speakeasy back in the day.
Awesome.
And they had gambling in the basement.
And I'm sure they were playing blackjack.
So
absolutely.
Very cool.
It was a little odd. Maybe coincidental, who knows, but still very odd.
So Dan, you're sensitive. what got you into the paranormal? Did something crazy happen to you when you?
Actually, I wouldn't say I'm sensitive. I'm kind of empathic.
Okay.
I'm
Larry said
very
you got a sensitive heart, though.
If he's
no, I'm
sensitive,
very insensitive.
I'm insensitive.
Yeah, with my job, I'm pretty insensitive. No, what got me in is you know, Larry and I both, when we both started, I've been doing this since 1996, and I really started to do it to debunk it, to prove that
That's
you
how
people
I
are
got
all
into
nuts.
it.
You're
Yep.
you're all absolutely crazy. There's no such
Yeah.
thing. And you know, lo and behold, one night Larry and Marcia and I are at this little cemetery, again out in the middle of nowhere. Actually, it was attached to a church, and I was leaning. I had my arms over the chain link fence, and leaning over, looking into the cemetery while they were doing a ghost box session immediately to my right.
Mhm.
And guys, something grabbed me by my arms and yanked me up over that fence. And I'm not a little guy, like nothing. And Larry and
Wow,
Marcia both. I mean, Larry and Marcia both look up at me, and it's simultaneous. What the fuck are you doing?
Well, you'd think he like
I don't know.
maybe he dropped something and he's trying to
it
like
was
reach
crazy.
over the fence to get it. But the fence is like this tall. How did he jump up there enough to get like all the way to his waist? Didn't make any
Wow.
sense.
And when can we go up there?
Well,
Whatever you want.
I mean, it's technically open to the public. The church is a little hesitant on the paranormal.
Yeah.
I could see that.
So, but there's stuff going on around it.
Most churches are.
There's a really cool sign in Charleston. That's like another hot spot of the paranormal. And one of the churches says, "The only ghosts that are here is the Holy Ghost."
The Holy Ghost. Yep.
Yeah,
but
that's
so-
wild. When
is-
you can get something physical like that, I mean, it's hard to convey. You know, but it's one of those experiences that it's like what in the world? Like I had the most memorable. I've had like little like tickles and different things, like stuff happen, you know, but there was the one time I was at the the Deering estate.
Yeah.
And I was upstairs, and it's supposed to be, you know, very, very active place. I felt somebody grab the back of my neck, like hard, and it was ice cold, and grabbed the back of my neck, and I just froze. And I mean I've never had anything like that ever happen.
Yeah, that happened
before,
to me.
you know. So pretty wild stuff.
We were at Broadhead Manor in Broadhead, Wisconsin, which is where our big award-winning episode was filmed at, the one we got the telly for. And I don't remember if I put this in the episode or not, but during one of the previous visits we had to the building, I like to record that stuff because you never know when it can be used in an episode down the line.
Exactly.
And you know, this session, it was me, Dan, and Jen, and I was standing in front of the sump room, which is where the janitor spirit likes to hang out. And all of a sudden, you know, Jen starts asking questions, and apparently maybe the spirit didn't want her to ask questions. I don't know, but I feel this on my shoulders and everything locked up. My arms are, all the hair on my arms is just going up. And all I can say is, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. Like everything is just locked up tight and I can't move. And I'm just like, I don't like this. And all Dan is saying is, I know you don't. I know you don't. I don't know what else to say, but it didn't feel good.
We're going to have to do a Paraflixx collaboration. You guys go to a lot of the events, right?
We're trying.
We're trying. This
That's what we
year,
wanna do.
we didn't get as many. But next year, I'm trying to go to more Paraflixx events just because I want to hang out with the fam.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's
and-
how I met Patty and Natalie.
Yeah.
And that's how we got into Paraflixx, and that's why you see us on
Yeah,
there.
same kind of thing. Like I had my YouTube channel that we were shooting some stuff on here and there, and then Eric met Natalie and Patty, and
We were actually working on a pilot.
yeah. that kind of fizzled out. But
they do that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how kind of we started in it. We Eric met them, and rest is history.
They're great people. I mean,
they really are.
You know, when Natalie talks about the family, she means it.
No,
you know, we've been part of other organizations. And I'm not down on them, but there's a difference between talking the talk and walking the walk. And at Paraflixx, Natalie and Patty and Mike and everybody, they walk the walk. It's not just not BS.
And they promote everybody, and they
absolutely
they promote, and which is awesome. You know, it's great to see that you know, she's very equal and promoting, and she's out there and she's busting her butt and she's doing her thing and she's passionate about it.
I can't believe the work she does. People don't know like the behind the scenes work that she does. It's pretty incredible.
Well, when she went and did Spirits of the Spring this last year, the 2023 one, you know, she was there all day at the con, of course, and then there probably until 1 a.m, maybe, give or take. Went back to her hotel, slept, and immediately got in a plane. So not like, okay, the con's over, I'm gonna go back to my hotel now. No, she hung out, went to dinner, sat around and talked with a bunch of people, and then once things started to wind down, then she's like, okay, it's time to go.
Every time
Patty's a monster.
Oh yeah. Every time I see Natalie or like if I'm doing a Facebook Live or something, she'll stop by, and I always tease her and say, I don't know when you sleep, because she's always promoting everybody. And
there'll be times where I'll send her an email at midnight, like she's not going to respond to this, but she'll get it in the morning. And then 10 minutes later, I get a response back. And I'm like, why are you awake?
Right.
I mean, I know why I'm awake. I'm a freak of nature, but why are you awake?
I just started doing the paranormal takeovers on Paraflixx, where every now and then I'll hop on if we're investigating and do a little live session.
Yeah, we have one that we want to do. I don't know if it's going to happen because the location that we were looking at has no Wi-Fi. So it gets kind of. But
yeah, I have one of those little hotspots, and we tried that a couple times, and it was okay. But it really depends, you know, if there's no Wi-Fi.
Well, we were going to do Broadhead, which is where our big episode is from, but there's no cell phone reception.
That's the other thing.
So even one of those little mobile hotspots, you'd get nothing.
Yeah.
You would have to have, you know, some kind of hardwire or a really strong satellite to really get it.
Starlink,
yeah.
Starlink is, and I've been selling a lot of them at work, right? And installing. I for everybody that doesn't know, I work on yachts. I do electronics on yachts. I'm a sales rep and I engineer navigation and communication systems. And it's
sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it makes sense.
But yeah, Starlink is coming a long way, man. The prices are going down. The hardware, the prices are going down, and there's more and more sats. And
I've heard it's also getting smaller too.
It is. Now it's down to a single panel.
Yeah.
And I want to say that I only know the pricing for the marine version, and if you get the RV version, it's like half that. So it's like I think around like $800 or something, and then it's like $100 a month, and it's unlimited. You have high bandwidth, and it works almost everywhere. And it's like a little stand. Boom, you plug an Ethernet cable into it, and you're done. And it comes with its own little router.
Every one of these van life videos I see on TikTok, half of them have a Starlink set up so that they can do their work during the day. And it doesn't matter where they go, as long as they have access to the sky, they've got internet.
Exactly.
Middle of the Sahara
Well,
Desert.
a lot of my customers kind of got screwed in the beginning because they bought RV versions. And I told them, I said, you don't want to install that on the boat, because if you look at the fine print, it says it can only be used in the United States. And I'm like, they're not regulating it now, but I'm guarantee they're gonna. And sure enough, they started shutting them down. So everybody had to upgrade to the marine version. But anyway, I'm going off on a
Well, real quick, I gotta let our listeners know from the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network that in a few minutes they'll be moving on to the next show. But if you want to continue listening to our show or even watching it, you can go to the War Party Paranormal YouTube channel. And those of you that are watching it on YouTube and Facebook, check out KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. They have amazing shows there. They talk about UFOs, cryptids, spiritualism. They have Bishop Long from Ghost Hunters. He has his own show. They have MUFON. So check them out. I believe if you sign up now, they even get throw in a discount for you.
Exactly.
How did I do? Was I in compliant?
Perfect. You did well.
Okay, great. Always got to make sure I do that right.
Exactly. But no. So yeah, we're definitely happy with everybody, and everybody that we've met so far. That's also on Paraflixx has been super awesome. Very nice.
Yeah. We're fortunate to be around a couple Paraflixx creators. You've got Visually Creep with Justin. That's a couple hours north of us, not very far. And then you got Nick Sarlo, who I think is an hour east of me, so a little bit further for Dan. He's not very far, so we're able to meet up at local events just because we're all kind of going to the same ones.
Yeah, very cool.
But it's when we get out of Illinois to where we go to some of the bigger ones, and now, hey, there's another Paraflixx one. Like Silicon, the Central Illinois Paracon. GhostNet's supposed to be there.
Okay.
Oh, it's like, oh, hey, I know that name.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's kind of shitty about Florida, to be honest with you, is we're kind of cut off down here. We're way down south, and there's not a lot of cons or anything going on. We're actually trying to work on that a little bit, but it's a lot of traveling for people that are not in the area, because Florida's so long. You got an 8-hour drive just to get to the Panhandle.
Sure.
Sure. Well, we went to our first Paracon up in the Northeast, in New Jersey, at White Hill Mansion, Paracon.
Our first one for the Haunted Files.
Yeah, but we Haunted Files and War Party, we were both. But it was like our first invitation to go up there, and I was surprised how many people knew us. I was just blown away. They wanted to take our pictures, and I'm like, yeah, you got to start going to more of these.
we went to one in Janesville, Wisconsin.
Janesville, yeah.
And Janesville's not a big town. It's just normal sized, I guess. How many people are in Janesville, Dan?
I don't know, probably 70,000 maybe.
Yeah. It's a normal sized town, compared to my town that has 125,000. And Dan's has 1,500. But we go there and we're just kind of walking in ready to check things out, and people start coming up to us, and I'm just like, me? You know who I am?
Oh, you guys are Expedition Entity. We're like,
we are?
How do you know us?
So it takes some getting used to.
Well, we're definitely going to meet up at one of these events sometime soon. I actually got an idea for Natalie. I'm going to see if we can do a Paracon down here and have Paraflixx sponsor it.
Sure.
We got an amazing location, this haunted railroad museum, which is huge. It used to be a naval base.
Oh, nice.
Oh, awesome.
You can split up and investigate all these different train cars, and nobody would ever hear each other. I mean, it's
like a train yard. There's hangars. I mean, back in the day during World War II, it used to be a naval base where they stored these blimps, and they had 3 hangars. And they stored 6 blimps in one hangar. That's how big it was.
It was the biggest one in the United States at the time.
Yeah. And then in 1945, a hurricane came by, and one of the blimps got on fire, and the whole 3 hangars blew up. So we get evidence from that. And then all the different rail cars that are there from the museum now, they all have their different personalities. We have the Ferdinand Magellan. It's the presidential car. Reagan, Truman, Roosevelt, Winston Churchill.
Wow. It was before Air Force One. It was rail car one.
Rail car one. Yeah.
We've even had communication talking to a Secret Service agent who was shot in line of duty.
Wow.
There's a segregation card. There's a double decker.
The Jim Crow.
Yep. There's a double decker. California Zephyr. We get a waiter in there.
Wow.
That's actually what I'm editing right now. That we just filmed there for
that's our 2-parter.
Season 2, episode 1 and 2.
Well, when you guys get that set up, go ahead and give us a call.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then
they have remnants from the maintenance rooms that are built in brick back in the day from the original hangars, and we get crazy stuff in there. Like I've seen my first full-blown arm and leg shadow figure like during the day. It like blew my mind away. It took me like a while to hit me, but it was just amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't see them often, but luckily when I do, apparently they're recorded for episodes.
Awesome. Yeah.
Because I was the one that went, what the F was that?
Right. No, we hear like
It was
disembodied
creepy.
voices. We caught something that looked like a bear on a thermal crawling underneath the rail car, and there was nothing there. It was just
But
like
here's the
really
thing,
weird
right?
things.
Think about this. It was I was looking through a FLIR.
Yeah.
Chris was with
And-
us. He works there. He's an engineer there.
Yeah. And the temperature of the rail car, it was in the winter. It was like 53 degrees.
That's our winter. It's probably your sun
Yeah.
down there.
And whatever
That's beautiful weather here.
Yeah,
and
we'd love that.
whatever came out from under the car was colder than that. It was
Sure.
darker. So it was something in the high 40s, and it was the size of like a bear crawling out from it was wild.
And then it like dissipated. And I was standing right in front of it. I would have seen it. It was night, but I still could see under the rail car, and there was nothing there. It was just really odd.
Caught it on the thermal, yeah. Super weird.
Yeah.
So guys, getting to that point, and let's start with you, Larry. Where can people find your stuff and your social media and all that stuff?
Sure. The best way to find me is honestly on Facebook. I have a verified account, so you can tell which one's me. And I have an Instagram. It's just Ghost Hunter Larry. Super easy to find. And then basically all over Expedition Entity. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which I don't really go on. I'm not a Twitter
Not
fan.
very often.
Which
Okay.
apparently is also going to be renamed to X, I heard.
Yeah, they just changed the logo today.
I don't know what's going to happen with Twitter, but
Yeah.
if it goes down, it's no big loss for us.
Well,
'cause we
now
don't really use it.
IG has that thing that's like Twitter now.
Yeah,
Threads, yes, which
Yeah.
I despise.
Yeah.
Because I have all these people I'm following, but it takes me 30 suggested posts to see one of the people I'm following.
Yeah, it's weird. It like just throws random stuff.
Yeah, like not even my interest. Like one of the first ones was Shaq. I'm not following Shaq. I don't care about Shaq. Shaq's cool and he's funny, but he's not involved in the paranormal enough. So
Get him on your show.
I'd love to.
That'd be amazing.
I'd love to.
Yeah, it's weird,
That would
right?
be
The
awesome.
algorithm is very strange.
But
I'm not
yeah,
a fan.
that's pretty much it for me. Just find me on Facebook.
All right, and Dan?
Pretty much the same. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter, Instagram. And Instagram, I've got Ghost Hunter Dan, and then Larry and I both collectively have Expedition Entity.
Yeah.
Both on Instagram. You can catch us on the Expedition Entity Facebook page. We're on YouTube under Ghost Hunter Dan Norvell, where you can see a lot of our early stuff when we didn't look so cool. Not
And we
that
were
look
a little
cool.
bit-
Not that we look cool now, but
We're a little thinner.
I
back
was a
then.
lot younger. I was a lot
You
younger.
guys are pretty cool.
I appreciate
Well,
that.
We tried, at least somebody thinks so, but we have a link tree, and actually with the link tree you can hit us up, all of us, anywhere.
Yeah.
So-
You can see the trailer for the Broadhead episode, our spread shop for merch. You got the link to Paraflixx, IMDb, all the social medias. Paige, who is the researcher on a show, she does this crystal business.
Mhm.
So if you're interested in crystals, that link is on there.
I'll-
And it
I'll
all
check that
puts
out.
it in one spot for Linktree.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very cool. All right, guys. And for me, the easiest way is just to head over to flaparanormalresearcher.com, and it links out to all my social media stuff, and it has upcoming events. I have a blog on there. I'll talk about the newest episodes coming out for the Haunted Files. Make sure that you follow the Haunted Files on Instagram and Facebook. And
There it
that's
is.
pretty much. And also, make sure you check out warpartyparanormal.com. It has bios for all our team members, upcoming events, things of that nature. So definitely appreciate it. And if you guys are watching now and like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Now you left nothing for me to say.
I left all kinds of stuff for you to say.
More importantly, Paraflixx. Go check out Expedition Entity.
Yeah.
Like I always said before, and you guys haven't heard it, but I said there's
and the Haunted Files.
And the Haunted
Exactly.
Files.
Got check
like
them both out.
Yep. And like I say on every show, we're not the only show on there. There's amazing talent there. And now I got proof right here. Bam.
A lot of great shows on there.
Yeah,
Great
a lot
shows.
of great shows. You got new reality. I mean, she even has like music videos and horror movies, so you got to check it out.
And Ghost Static has some awesome videos on there.
Yeah, it's their music videos as well.
Yeah, which some of our B-roll shots ended up in one of their videos. I don't know how they did it, but they merged some of our B-roll from Broadhead Manor into this like industrial-looking location that other people from Paraflixx supplied. And it went together really, really well.
That's awesome.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So my personal stuff, you can find me at Ghost Hunter of South Florida on YouTube. Don't do much on YouTube, so I'm here now. I'm doing Paraflixx, but Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm on Threads now, IG Threads, so you can talk to me there. And more importantly,
Eric might randomly pop up on your thread. Who knows?
Yeah, he might. I say some funny stuff, so check it out.
If they fix the whole suggested thing, I might come back to Thread. We'll see. We'll see.
And yeah, check out War Party Paranormal. And people remember, if any of you guys are listening from South Florida, if you know anyone that needs help with the paranormal, whether at home or in their business, we're here to help you. We're not for profit. We don't charge a dime, and that's our number one goal is helping people. And I also want to let everyone know that if you're local also, we got 2 events just around the corner coming in August. We got the Old Davy Schoolhouse. It's Friday night, August 25th. And then the following night, we'll be up in West Palm Beach at Yesteryear Village on the 26th.
Home of the Riddle House.
Home of the Riddle House was featured. It was featured on Ghost Adventures. It used to be a former funeral parlor that they moved. So someone hung himself.
We've never been able to do a funeral parlor, and I've always wanted to do one.
There you go. Bam. We got one for you.
Come on down. We got one. And
very
Lady Dan. Gotta go, Dan.
The caretaker actually hung himself in the attic for being accused of stealing stuff. So not only was it
wow.
If we can do a funeral parlor, I am totally ready to put the fun in funeral.
There you go. That's
our middle name.
Dan wants to be rolled into one of the drawers.
I put the FU in fun.
Exactly.
That too.
Right. Right.
All right, guys. Well, hey, it was awesome having you guys. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
And
thanks for having us, guys.
Great having us. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Well, have a good night, guys, and keep it.
You guys take care.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Peace.
Bye.